video off by saying I'm making this because there is absolutely zero information on how to do a bolt-in notch install for Obs Suburban on the internet. I don't know why that is. I feel like every other truck on planet Earth has 1,000 different write-ups on what to look out for, what things you have to remove. Like in the Suburbans, unless you're on like pages on Facebook, you're not finding like anything, and you have to ask everybody on there to like, hey, what did you have to look out for? So I've had a couple people show me there's a couple brackets and stuff down there you got to remove that are like, even on like, if you look at the Beltec instructions, they don't tell you about any of that stuff. So hopefully this will help some people out, just because there's zero information on how to do this online. So today we're going to be back on the Suburban, currently driving to my shop where we are going to redo the rear suspension on this thing. When I bought it, the guy had originally lowered it and he did a 2/4 drop, which on this truck is just spindles in the front. And normally you would just do like leaf spring hangers and drop shackle, but this guy decided to do 2-inch drop leaves and a 2-inch shackle. And these Beltec leaf drop leaves ride horrible. The back end of this thing is so bouncy. My first try to like fix it so I didn't have to do a whole bunch of work was adjustable QA1 shocks, and I have them set on full firm. Like I started all the way as weak as they would go to as stiff as they would go, and this thing is still just bouncy on full firm. So the plan today is, and on top of all that, didn't put a notch in it, so you put a little bit of weight in the back of this thing and any bump and it slams the frame. And I've already removed the bump stops and put like low profile bump stops on it to give me a couple more inches. So the plan today is to remove all of that, and I found a factory set of leaf springs. So I'm just going to be doing a flip kit with a 2-inch lift hanger in the front and a 2-inch lift shackle in the back. So the reason for all the lift parts on it is because if you do a flip kit in a Suburban with factory hangers, factory shackles, it's a 9-inch drop, which I can't do that on this because that's just too much work and I'm not doing all that. So my goal is to get a 5-inch drop to make the truck sit even, where it's just the tires are just right at the fenders, just tuck it maybe a little bit. So we're going to remove all of that, just let the axle hang, and then we're going to install the notch in the frame. And then while we're doing the notch, we're also going to be adding helper leaves, because whenever I do LS swap this, I want to be able to tow with it if I need to tow with it. And everybody says the helper bags make a big difference on ride quality. So that's kind of the plan for today. I expect it to take me all day, if not a little bit tomorrow, to finish it up. But we'll get back when we get to the shop. See you. Alright, so here's what we're working with. We got our factory leaf springs over there, helper bags. This is the flip kit. These are shock relocation brackets for the Suburban specifically. We got our lift hangers there. I think in this box has the lift shackles. I think the other part of this bag kit, because this airlift one won't work with, I guess, dropping it, so I had to get some different ones that bolt underneath the actual axle itself to move the bag back. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I also have some pinion shims in there. I'm gonna make some makeshift cribs so I can check that, because I have a vibration on the highway and I'm pretty sure it's coming from pinion angle, so I have some shims to hopefully get that corrected too. All right, I'm gonna get it up in the air and take the wheels off. All right, so here's what we're working with. So see here, I tried to do this at my house, but with these springs in here, there's absolutely no room to work. So I'm going to be removing these Buildtech drop leaves. These hangers have to go, so we cut those off and knock those out. Those will be moved up 2 inches. Well, the new ones will move it up 2 inches. To do this, the sway bar bracket right here, this has to come off. Of course, you already see I've lined it out to cut this, and then the C-notch over here. 50-50 shot, I grabbed the right one. This will basically bolt in there. Not that there's room for that. But yeah, that'll go in there. Then we have to trim some of this off up here for the helper bag bracket. The other one will basically go under here, but it'll be flipped, so it'll be under the axle, and then it extends this way, and then the bag will go there. Other things you have to look out for on this that people told me online is this here. You have to notch this brace or take it off, but I'm not gonna take it off. I'm just gonna notch it for the C-notch to go under here. I think the other side, there's nothing that I can remember seeing, but on this side you have the fuel lines and the electrical you have to watch out for. One guy told me he just kind of stuck a 2x4 in there to push it out, and then when he put it back together, he had to trim, I think, that one on top, but he had to trim the bottom off to get the electrical up there. But yeah, I'm gonna start taking the leaves off now, and then we'll come back eventually and go over what's going on. All right, we got everything taken apart. We're gonna work on cutting the frame and removing this factory leaf spring hanger.
Imagine, if you will, sitting down to your morning coffee, turning on your home computer to read the day's newspaper. Well, it's not as far-fetched as it may seem. In fact, both local San Francisco papers are investing a lot of money to try and get a service just like that started. Science editor Steve Newman reports on one person already.
Alright, we got it fit in there. Now it's time to drill a million holes and see if we can get that rear bag bracket to fit in there also. So, start drilling. Alright, so we got the cnotch cut in, bolted in. We got the lift hanger bolted in there. Got the leaf spring just hanging there with a flip kit piece on there. And the lift shackles on it. So we're going to start putting it back together now. Alright, so here it is pretty much done on the one side. Got our lift shackle over there. It's kind of hard to see. C-notch with a new bump stop. We got our lift hangers in the front, and then we added the shock extension for the Suburban, which is only made by like DJM. It's for the factory sway bar. So I got that put in, and here's our flip kit with the block. We have the helper bag lower bracket put in, but I decided I didn't want to mess with the upper bracket just because I wanted to get this done this weekend. So I'm going to go back to that later, and that's also why this one hole up here isn't drilled between the lines, and having to put that other bag bracket in, I was like, I'll just get that one later. But yeah, that's pretty much it on how to do the notch on one of these. You can see back here, the one bracket we had to cut and notch for. Actually, both of those brackets right there, we had to cut for the notch. I need to go back over those with some paint just so they're coated. So now we need to do the other side, which is basically the same thing. I've already done the lift hanger. Just need to cut this. The only thing over here to watch for is the fuel lines, which I've unbolted from the frame, and I'm just gonna stick a 2x4 back behind the lines to push them out far enough from the frame where they're away from everything. But I'm gonna get started on this side, and then we'll get it all put back together and see how it looks and rides.